I want to talk to you about supplements that I have my dog on and why I have him on them. If we haven't had a chance to connect, or this is the first episode that you're listening to of the Non-Traditional Veterinarian, I am the Non-Traditional Veterinarian. I am Dr. Bamonte, and I want to help pets live better so they can live longer. Because living longer is great, but how can we help them live better so that those years can really count and they can live longer? And so that is my mission. And that's why I bring this no fluff, straight to the table information to you. And what I even do for my own dog. Because I could tell you stories all day long. I think it's also really helpful to know I'm also practicing what I preach. And so I have the supplements here because I'm going to show them to you too. And so what I'm not doing is I'm not just throwing a whole bunch of powders at my dog so that I can feel better about what I'm doing. While I think that you can look at this two ways, that you can't over supplement a poor lifestyle, a poor diet. I guess the same could even go for us, right? Also, it can be used to bridge the gap if you know, I know that feeding him this other food would be better, or I know that if I took him on more walks, it would be better. Where can you bridge the gap? But they are not an excuse to have poor choices. I'm just going to say it. To let your dog be overweight, to feed them nutrition that you know could be better. Again, when you know better, you can do better. And so this isn't about shaming. It's about when you know better, you can do better. And so that's why there's professionals like me out here educating you so that you can know better, so that you can do better. So let's jump into it. And so I have his supplements divided for morning and night. I don't have a purpose necessarily on why I have them divided that way. There's no reason physiologically or benefit to doing them one over the other. It's I conquered and divided. And that way I'm consistent because I know, okay, in the morning he gets this and I have them all separated. And then I have in the evening he gets this. My biggest advice for you with your dog supplements, because I hear it quite frequently with pet owners, is, oh my gosh, I just wish I could be more consistent with it. Have them where A, where you can see them, and B, maybe have them right near where you feed your pup or your cat. So that way they're in your line of sight. And so I have them literally next to my dog's food. So that way it is just a matter of if I skip it, it's I'm being lazy. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. And so that way they're present where I need them to be. So I want to jump into it. And so things to think about when you are giving your dog a supplement or your cat or your pet, and no matter their breed, their age, where they are in their life, is what do they need based on their age and their breed, lifestyle, or issues? Like, what do we think they need, or what are you wanting to prevent because of any of those metrics? Is it clean? Are you diluting the efficacy of the product because of what's in it? Is it a good intent, but it's filled with a lot of stuff that is going to counteract it? So that is another thing to think about. And can it help prevent future problems? Or are you trying to solve a problem? And I think this is really important because it also helps set your expectations. And the reason I say that is a previous episode, I talked about joint supplements and arthritis. Joint supplements are wonderful for joint health, possible some lubrication, some soft tissue support. They don't control pain. And so knowing, is this a preventing a problem or are you wanting to solve a problem? So that way your expectations are being met and you know, am I choosing this appropriately? Am I going to get what I want out of this product? So being really mindful of those three things, I think are going to be very helpful for you to be intentional with what you're purchasing, intentional what you're giving, and expectations to be met. So the first one is a probiotic. So I give my dog a probiotic in the morning, which is what I've always done. I will tell you he is on a particular probiotic right now because, and a probiotic alone, and what I mean by that is I previously had him on Calming Care by Purina. That was a probiotic strain, but was directly related to the gut and the brain communicating to help with anxiety. And I ran out literally as he had diarrhea after his dental cleaning. And I had an episode about that. And so I have him on this right now. When this is done, I will go back to the Calming Care. I wouldn't say that as an overall probiotic, as a specific probiotic strain, but I wanted to nurture his gut due to that recent, very acute, very sudden, I call it insult of inflammation. And I think, again, it wasn't the dental cleaning. I'm not demonizing that. I think it was just the perfect storm. So I have him on a probiotic. Also, probiotic and gut health is so important. If your dog has been on repeated antibiotics, had intestinal parasites when they were a puppy, the gut is like the second brain, and so much of the immune system is there. So how can we support it? And what I'm not relying on is I'm not relying on yogurt. And I'm not relying on the probiotics in a kibble food. So if your dog is on a traditional kibble food and they said they've added probiotics, it's possible those probiotics aren't even as effective as you want them to be because of the nature of how the food is processed. Why I think yogurt, while it is less processed, why I think maybe it's not hitting the bang for the buck is it's a scoop. How much do you know you're getting in that scoop of that culture, of that microbiome, of the bacteria that you're feeding to help be the probiotic? Also, in the yogurt, is there prebiotic? That's like fiber. Is that there? Because that is what helps the probiotic. So I think if you're going to be intentional about it. And so that's why I don't rely on those two for it. This is a newer product for him. Pet I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I'm gonna be totally honest. This is something I found for him. And the reason I did it, it's got quercetin in it, and that is nature's Benadryl. And so I started this for him this past spring. So we are in May, the end of May, 2025 right now. I started this past spring when we had our pollen snow, as I call it. And so I'm in the deep south, I'm in Florida, and we get pollen like the North would get snow, and literally covers everything. Everything turns yellow. And my dog will sometimes itch a little bit more. And when I say a little bit more, he itches a little bit more that time of year. Overall, he's got normal dog scratches, the occasional scratch. And so I have done Cytopoint for him in the past when he was itching uncontrollably. I also didn't know about quercetin, nature's Benadryl. And so this year I was like, let me try it. And so this one, what else is in here? Organic apple juice, organic carrot puree, organic apples, citrus fiber, fruit pectin, quercetin, algae. So it's a little bit lower on the list, but I do like that. When I looked at the milligrams, I was okay with it, and I was like, let me give it a shot. It is a chewy, so very easy. I don't have to worry about, is he going to eat it? It's not a tablet that I have to, like force down him. And so it is weight based, and I've been very happy with it. I will tell you, about a week into it, I saw improvement. Could have been placebo effect. Okay. I'll call a spade again. It's possible, but I did notice when I was consistent with it, his scratching was much decreased. So I was very happy with it. And so I'll probably continue this through maybe the midsummer, and then I'm going to stop and then just reassess. But I will plan to use this or a similar product with similar ingredients next spring when we have our pollen shower. The next the next supplement that I have for him is for his teeth. I've been using Plaque Off, and it is a kelp-based product, and I really like that ingredient for teeth. And so I also, and I alluded to this, I did a podcast about the importance of dental health, why dental health is so important, that the bacteria in the mouth don't just stay there, they talk to the bacteria in the gut, and that can influence so much for your pet: inflammation, disease. And so I have him on this. What this doesn't do is this does not replace dental cleanings. This does not replace you brushing your teeth, dog's teeth. And now I will tell you, I know that most people don't brush their dog's teeth or cat's teeth. It's the reality, and it's okay. That is the best. But I don't want this to be the easy out, is what I'm saying. I don't want this to be, well, I'm not even gonna try. If your dog won't let you do it, or your cat won't let you do it, or you're in a season of life where you don't have the time, I also believe that something's better than nothing, and it's okay. If you can brush your dog's teeth or your cat's teeth, that is going to be the very, very best. But the biggest thing is that this does not replace dental cleanings. The goal of home dental care is to help extend the life of time between dental cleanings and improve your dog or cat's oral health. Just like we brush our teeth, and I know a lot of us brush our own teeth because we don't want our breath to smell, we don't want our teeth to rot out of our head, but it's also to make our dental experience better when we go to the dentist. Right? How many times have you gone to the dentist and they worked on something, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be way more consistent about flossing or water picking or brushing your teeth because you don't want to deal with it. And so I really have been enjoying Plaque Off. It is a powder, and so it's weight-based, so I do so many scoops on his food. That is a current product that I'm currently using. Now, I will tell you that while I do like these products, I am also very open to, if something better comes out that I feel more aligned with as far as ingredients, I will always be open to it. But I'm very, very happy with this. I'm trying to see if it even says, yeah, it's basically like a kelp is essentially what it is. So very, very happy with that. So that is his morning routine for him. I also do a nighttime I do for him is this is a mushroom relax blend. It is a chew, again, weight-based. So chews I put on his food. And so it has several mushrooms. It's got lion's mane and it's got reishi in it. And so it helps to, and it's got other ingredients like taurine, L-theanine, L-tryptophan, valerian root, catnip, lemon balm powder, passion flower powder. Now, I'm going to be very honest. It also has natural bacon flavor and natural chicken flavor. Do I wish that was in it? No. I'm happy that they at least call out what the flavor is, but how are they making that natural flavor? So again, it's not perfect, but I'm very intentional with it. And so I have him on this. This is his second bottle. And so I think it lasts about a month or so for him. So I've been very happy with it. The goal is to use this and then the calming care to help with he tends to be a little bit anxious sometimes, and I want to bring that overall anxiety level down for him. And so I want to help balance his nervous system and support him to be resilient and to bring his whole system back to balance. I think sometimes we also forget that when our dogs are stressed or they're imbalanced, that can affect their health and not just their mental health, but it can affect their immune system. That stress, that inflammation. And so by no means is he this dog that's shivering all the time and totally stressed, but I also know that there are ways that I can help him bring him back to like center, bring his nervous system back down with certain triggers that he has. And I'm working with a specialist with that. And also, I want to do to support him as much as possible because I don't want him to be on medicines and I don't think he needs to be on medicine. The other product is a turmeric-based product. I've had him on this several months now. This is, I think, my second or third bag. And the reason I chose this is that it is turmeric-based. It is a kind of a crunchy chew. So if you can see here, I'm all about convenience, putting it on his food where he will eat it. And it's really funny is he knows that I put stuff on his food and he will literally sit there and wait for it. And so it is turmeric based, and inflammation can be the root, the foundation for a lot of diseases, or even allow other diseases to breed, to come about. And so like chronic issues, joints, skin, gut issues, ear issues. And so I want to control the inflammation. I would say that he has inflammation. I want to help prevent any inflammation that he may have. And so why I also like this is that it has black pepper extract in it, which helps turmeric be more effective. And I think this is also designed for it's a healthy inflammatory response. This is by Native Pet, by the way, is that it also is a little bit geared for inflammation for the joints. It's got green lipid mussel. Love green lipid mussel as an ingredient. And it's got turmeric extract, it's got collagen, it's got black pepper extract. And I really like the inactive ingredients are chicken, coconut glycerin, and mixed tocopherol. So a more natural preservative. So very happy. Again, it's about as clean as you can get for getting a packaged ingredient, for helping for the inflammation. I really like to talk about this product for dogs that have inflammation, arthritis. In fact, I just saw a dog, a 3-year-old precious dog, who the owner feels is very painful with his hips and his knees and wanted to start medication. I was like, we absolutely can do that, but your dog is 3. Your dog potentially have 10 years of medications. That's a lot of work on the organs. And I'm not saying we're not going to use pain meds, but can we help control the inflammation so we can either lower the dose or lower the frequency and maybe even lower the inflammation, which can influence the pain. This is not a pain medication, but how can this influence inflammation, which can influence the pain pathway? And so he is on that at night. I also have him on Buddy. So this is a product that came out, I believe, earlier in the year, and I've been following her on Instagram for quite some time, my boy Rudder, and I really like her mindset, and she came out with this supplement, and it is kind of I would say kind of a multivitamin, and I'm hesitant to say that because there's so many multivitamins out there that when I hear multivitamin, I think of vitamins and minerals, and they are, but they also have fish oil, and they have glucosamine. And so this I would consider is more of a multivitamin. And I'm trying to see if I have any of the ingredients. I don't have any of the ingredients on here, but there are 23 active ingredients, 10 health benefits. I really like that there's no artificial preservatives or fillers. It's natural ingredients. I don't have it right in front of me, the exact list, but I will tell you there's mushrooms in it. I almost actually, while you're here, I'd like to look it up if I can find it real quick and go over them with you. All of these supplements, by the way, I will drop in the show notes about links or any codes that I have. I know I have a code for the Go Buddy. I put one package on his food at night. I'm sorry, two packets. I'm sorry, one packet. It is by weight as well. So you know that you're giving your dog the proper ingredients. This is just for dogs right now. So I do that at night for him. I will tell you one of the biggest things that I will do is when I'm starting a new supplement, it's a little life hack for you, is I will start it when I know I'm going to be home for a day or two. And animal hospitals are open. What do I mean by that? God forbid I give him something and he vomits. In fact, the patient I was just talking about that is 3 years old that's having pain, his owner feels that when she is given turmeric-based or turmeric supplements that pet vomits. And now those have been very pure turmeric-based products, so it's very possible it's just too strong for him. I don't know. And so I was like, hey, if you're gonna try, and I was talking about this product, do it like on a Monday or Tuesday in the morning when the vet hospital is open and you're not going into the weekend. So always recommend if you're going to start something new, do it in the beginning of the week, do it maybe in the beginning of the day. So that way, if there is something that doesn't sit well with your pet, you can have them seen. So I have the ingredients pulled up for GoBuddy. There's ashwagandha. There is a strain of probiotic in here. There's organic beetroot. There is chicory root. There is coenzyme Q10, collagen peptides, glucosamine, sea moss, organic kelp, omega-3, shiitake mushroom, reishi mushroom, quercetin, organic pumpkin, spirulina, taurine, turmeric root. So there's great things in here. I don't feel personally that I'm over supplementing my dog right now. I don't. And like the quercetin that I give him in the morning is very temporary. I'm hoping that the quercetin in here is going to be enough to sustain him. And so these this mushroom blend that I give him at night, I hope is not long term. Again, it's just temporary. So these are products I'm giving him. And again, there's intent behind them. And so this is another one that I recently started adding, like as of this week, and it is milk thistle. And so commonly I have had experience with milk thistle in practice, and this was even when I was a vet tech, so many moons ago, was when there's liver disease. It is also sometimes known as silymarin. And I recently started using it. I had read in several different resources on ways that you can help your dog detox after maybe you've given them preventions, heartworm and flea. And so I live in the South, and I know it is important that my dog is on heartworm prevention. That is, and that's why I say I take an integrative approach. There are some things I really feel are important in a traditional setting, and there are some things that I'm like, hey, can we do this more holistically? And that's how we get this integrative approach. And that's how I like to approach my patients. And being in the South and seeing several hundred cases in my 11 years of practice of heartworm disease, it is hard on the dog, and the treatment is just as hard. And I don't want my dog to go through it. So I do have him on heartworm prevention. I also have him on flea prevention. I probably can be more consistent about it. I am probably gambling with maybe not being every 30 days with him. And I know because I walk him that I may be walking in yards that have fleas in the grass. And I'm going to tell you, I don't want to deal with fleas. I don't. They are a nuisance. They are a pain. I don't want to deal with it. Luckily, where I live in Florida, we don't really have ticks. But the reason I have him on this is I read that this can help kind of detox them after you give that. And so I do this about a week after. So I give him his preventions. And when I give him his preventions, I don't give him his flea and heartworm the same day. I also think it's another life hack. I don't. I like to give them when he's eaten, and I like to give them when I'm going to be around. While he's never had an issue, I know that stranger things have happened. And so I like to be around him just in case something happens. And then the week following it, I give this to him once a day for about a week to help his body kind of detox from that. And so that is something that I've recently started doing. This one is by Herb Smith. Again, I liked the ingredients for it. It was the active ingredient was ground milk thistle seed, and I think that was it. And so here's another thing about supplements that I want you to be aware of. Looking at the ingredients and not just looking at allergy and immunity. And it says quercetin and omega-3 and just going with it. Look at the back of them. I have seen joint supplements that tout that they help with joint support and they help with joint inflammation. And then you read the back and it's vegetable oil, molasses, rice flour. And I'm like, inflammation, inflammation, inflammation. And granted, they're probably at low on the ingredient list. And so they're probably not as abundant as the glucosamine or the chondroitin. But if your dog is getting them every single day, again, are we kind of diluting the efficacy and the intent of these products? So being mindful, some stuff may not always be perfect. Natural chicken and natural bacon flavor. But I will tell you, out of the other products that I looked at that I was able to access and see, I was the happiest with this one. I also like the mission behind this company, Real Mushrooms. It doesn't mean that something better won't come about, and it doesn't mean that this is the end all be all and the only one. So being really intentional on if I'm giving a product for inflammation, does it have products or ingredients in there that are going to be adding to it? So I've said this analogy, a bonfire. Imagine you have a spray bottle filled with gasoline and you're spritzing it. Is that going to make it go whoof? No, it's not. But is it, if you're wanting that bonfire to go out, is that going to help it? That's not going to help it either. And so being mindful, are we spritzing a bonfire or are we helping to put it out? Again, it goes back to one of those three questions I told you to think about in the beginning. What is the purpose of this? Is this to prevent, or is this to support, or is this to treat? Because if it's to treat, it may or may not. Perfect example. I use this because my dog was starting to itch more because of the pollen. It helped. It definitely supported him, and it helped in a way where I was like, I don't think he needs Cytopoint or Apoquel right now. He hasn't damaged his skin. He's not itching excessively. I'm happy with it. But I also knew if this didn't work, that's where I was headed. My expectations I had set with myself and knew that, okay, this was a tool in the toolbox. And maybe this will help that if he does need a Cytopoint, he only needs one this allergy season. Or if I do Apoquel, I can do a shorter dose. And so maybe sometimes that is what the supplements can help do. And so being really mindful of when you're feeding all of this. And so something I don't have him currently on, and I do have it, I haven't started it. Again, I'm gonna be very candid with you. This is a no fluff podcast, is I have an omega-3. I've not started it for him. It is a pump. I got it from Native Pet. I do think that if you can add like sardines to your dog's food or even your cat, that is gonna be the very best. They are so packed with omega-3s, EPA, and DHA. And when you have a fish oil product, they can become rancid. They are very delicate. And I will tell you another life hack is you want it to be in a container that is not going to be light sensitive to help it prevent from being rancid as well. And so that is something I am going to be adding to him. And I do know that this has some omega-3 in it. This time has some omega-3 in it. Maybe not at the concentration that I want it to be. So I want you to remember that this isn't about being perfect. Natural bacon, natural chicken flavor. It's not perfect, but it's about progress and being intentional and purpose. And especially because everything else I'm very happy with. So don't try and chase perfection. Try and chase intention, chase purpose, chase progress. That's what I want you to be after. So if you're curious, definitely we can schedule one-on-one consultation, nutrition consultation. I'm also calling like nutrition lifestyle consultations. Share this with a friend who is obsessed with pet supplements. I want them to hear this. Share this with them. Would love to. And if you are listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I invite you to go to the YouTube link where you can see the actual products. I have them right here in front of me. So reach out to me if you want some more one-on-one support. Again, I am rooting for